Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Made a video yesterday talking about my excitement for this class of 2026. I'm always talking about the blue chip ratio and recruiting for Josh Heupel trending up, moving in the right direction. Seeing a lot of guys ranked inside the top 300, heck, guys inside the top 50 that are showing legitimate interest in Tennessee. And I do my best to really only cover the guys that I think Tennessee has a legit shot at landing. Now, somebody yesterday on my video commented and said they truly believe that Tennessee has a shot at a top 5 class in this class of 2026. What they said was last year didn't really buy into the hype, didn't really think it was possible, but thought this year they could actually do it. But man, for me, looking back at that class of 2025, if you hang on to Shady Hayward, you hang on to Douglas Utu, I think, there's a slim margin between the 5th best class in the country and the 10th best class in the country. And you can go look at the On3 rankings. Ohio State had the 5th best class with a score of 93.012. Tennessee comes in at 10th, 91.921. So pretty close there. A couple of prospects can make a difference, and that's where it, really all goes back to evaluation, player development. But the point being here, there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of blue chip guys that Tennessee has a shot at landing in this cycle. It's kind of funny. I make a video on a defensive end and somebody says, Boogie, we don't need that. I want to talk about safeties. Well, I make a video about a safety. I get the comment, we don't need that. We need to talk about wide receivers. I make a wide receiver. We don't need that. We need to talk about the running back position. Guys, I do the best to bring you as much content as possible. So make sure you dial in. Yesterday alone, we talked about a 4-star interior offensive lineman ranked 31st overall. We talked about a 4-star edge ranked 59th overall. We talked about a 4-star wide receiver ranked just outside the on 300. So again, there are so many blue chip, highly ranked prospects that Tennessee is legitimately pursuing and can land in this class of 2026. But the entire class starts with your 5-star quarterback Faizon Brandon, who has committed to Tennessee since August the 3rd of last year. So I see this tweet, should we be concerned? Anytime you see your quarterback in the class of 26 with an Alabama logo, an LSU logo beside him, should you be concerned? Look, we understand Faizon Brandon's the number 1 player in the country, according to 247 Sports. You got to recruit him to the finish line, right? But the article here, the tweet here says, Tennessee 5-star quarterback commit Faizon Brandon remains 100% locked in with the Vols despite the consistent pursuit from Alabama and LSU. Again, we're going to have to recruit him to the wire. We're going to take a look at this article. It's from VolQuest.com. It's not behind a paywall. We're going to see some quotes with Faizon Brandon, and hopefully we can calm down, and maybe we should not be concerned. But I also want to talk about some relationships Faizon Brandon has with elite prospects that could get us to that top 5 class. Before we do that, you guys know the deal. I need you to do that YouTube stuff. Smash the thumbs up down there below the video. Quick, free, easy, and it helps the channel. I would appreciate it. Also, if it's your first time here, welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Networks. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We're not reporters. We don't pretend to be any of that. What we are is exactly what you guys are. We're fans, for the fans, by the fans. If you like it, subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live. Right now, every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we're live. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we are live. If you like the content, you like the videos, you like what we do, you want to go a step further, think about hitting that join button down below. You can become a member of the channel. It's just $1 a month, keeps the lights on. You get custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, access to fan call-in shows. I think this fall we're going to do a members-only stream every Sunday night. So if you want to support us, that's the best way to do it. But let's get into it. Let's go take a look at this article from VolQuest.com. Matt Ray, it says, elite quarterback Faizon Brandon remains locked in with the Vols as 2 SEC programs keep recruiting him. Now, who is Faizon Brandon if you're not familiar? Again, 5-star quarterback. 247 Sports says number 1 quarterback, number 1 player in the country for the class of 2026. Brief rundown of the scouting report. Got a rare blend of pocket passer size and dual threat athleticism to go along with a high-powered arm. Guys, when I tell you how excited I am about Nico, when I tell you how excited I was about Jake, about George, Faizon Brandon could very well end up being the best of all of them. Goes on to say had a good a sophomore season as any 26 quarterback, ranking 1st in completion percentage, yards per attempt, and turnover rate. Rhythmic as a passer, getting the ball out fast to his playmakers, likes to stay on schedule with clean footwork, shows poise in the face of pressure. Accurate to the numbers, found plenty of success attacking the intermediate level, but deep ball placement could be a bit uneven. Says he's effective on designed runs with his acceleration and natural twitch in both the upper and lower halves is ideal for run pass options. Certainly benefited from throwing to a pair of power 4 wide receivers in his first year as a starter, but game tape shows a potential game breaker at the next level. That's just starting to scratch the surface of what he could be, especially when you factor in that he's younger for the grade. So that's who he is as a player. Again, the athleticism. I truly believe he could be the best one of the bunch. But the beautiful thing is I don't think we're ever going to have to worry about recruiting quarterbacks as long as Josh Heupel is at Tennessee. So should we be concerned? The article says no, that Faizon Brandon is locked in. Says he's continued to be a frequent visitor on Rocky Top since committing to the Vols last August. He returned to Knoxville over the weekend, and he continues to be a strong peer recruiter for Tennessee. Over the weekend, he spent time with 4-star safety Joey O'Brien. We talked about him in the live stream earlier. 4-star defensive lineman Damari Simeon, and 5-star wide receiver Tristan Keys. Keep that name in your mind. We're going to come back to that in just a second. Faizon says, I really come down here to just continue to build a relationship with Joey and then just help recruit the class of 26. If they've got any questions about anything, they can really just ask me because that's what I've been coming back here a lot to be able to do. Says I can help them and give them more information, make them feel more comfortable every time they come down here. Brandon says he's text a lot of guys about joining him at Tennessee as he is working to make it to one of the top classes in the cycle. Can it be a top 5? Potentially. We're going to mention another name here. 2 he specifically mentioned were 5-star running back Savion Hyder and 4-star offensive lineman Darius Gray. If you want to know more about Darius Gray, talked about him in yesterday's video. I'll link it at the end of this one. It'll be in the little box up here in the corner. You can click it, give it a watch. I love Darius Gray. He's a dog. He's a player. You want to know where he stands with Tennessee, go give that video a watch. Again, an elite, a blue-chip prospect, a 4-star interior offensive lineman ranked 31st overall in the country. That's who he's talking about here with Darius Gray. Goes on to say, I'm feeling pretty good about the class so far. We've got Tyreek and Carson, and we've got some other guys really still trying to continue to try to make it the best class in 26. Said he knew early on in the visit process that Tennessee was the right choice for him. As he talks with others during the visit, he tries to show them what he saw from Josh Heupel's program. Here's the quote. I don't think on the other visits, don't know how it felt for them, but for me, on the other visits, I didn't really feel like I had a connection with the coaches like I do here. Says I was just trying to get them to understand that and then see if they felt the same when they come up for a visit just to see how different it is from other schools. Goes on to talk about LSU and Alabama here. Says they both continue to try to recruit me heavily. Says I let them know that I'm 100% locked in, but I won't break any bonds or burn any bridges or anything like that. Smart kid. Still want to just keep relationships because you never know what can happen, so I don't try to brush them off or anything like that. Just keep the relationship, but I tell them I am locked in with Tennessee. Says he has no plans to check out either school, but he is planning to return to Knoxville again in April and be back in June for official visit. So Faizon Brandon going to continue to peer recruit. I love that he keeps talking about it, keeps talking about trying to get the best class in the class of 26, and he mentioned a couple of names here, and I'm going to throw those names. If you don't believe that Tennessee has a shot at a top 5 class, you've already got the number 1 player in Faizon Brandon in the boat, and he is peer recruiting the top-ranked quarterback according to the class, according to 247 Sports. Well, what about the top-ranked wide receiver? That's another guy that he's talking about, a guy that he has been peer recruiting, a guy that he has a great relationship, and that is 5-star wide receiver Tristan Keys. My, oh my, how appealing the class looks when you've got the number 1 quarterback in the boat. Now can you get the number 1 wide receiver in the boat? 6'2", 185 pounds out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Number 3 ranked player in the country. Tennessee, Alabama up there at the top. LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn, Texas, Texas A&M, and Michigan also in the mix. He took a January visit to Alabama and Auburn, and that kind of got a little buzz going to Alabama. But then he came back to Tennessee for Junior Day. Great relationship with Faizon Brandon, man. They have a great relationship. He is going to visit LSU on the 18th. Texas A&M on the 29th, and Michigan on April the 5th, and then we will see where he chooses to take those official visits. But that is a legitimate target. Tristan Keys is a legitimate target for Tennessee. Let's go take another one. Take a look at another one that he mentioned here. So you got the number 1 quarterback in the class. You could possibly be getting the number 1 wide receiver in the class in Tristan Keys. What about the number 1 ranked running back in the class, Savion Hyder, another guy that Faizon Brandon mentioned there in the article? Does Tennessee have a shot? Ranked 21st nationally, number 1 running back in the country. He's got his official visit set. And again, we're on the back end. We're strong on the back end, which we saw Josh Heupel do last cycle. Does that work out in their favor? It's going to take an official visit to Ohio State May the 30th through June the 1st. Georgia, June 6th through the 8th, Michigan, June 13th through the 15th, and then wrap things up with Tennessee on the 19th through the 22nd. He's supposed to be here on April the 5th for a spring visit as well. Now, Steve Wiltfong put out an update at the end of last month, said that Michigan's been setting the pace. Georgia is charging. Tennessee is a dark horse, and Ohio State rounds out the top 4. Now, anytime I've made a video or talked about Savion Hyder, I would love to have him in Knoxville, but how much do you prioritize a running back versus a quarterback, an edge rusher, an offensive tackle? We'll see how it plays out. But again, another legitimate dude, number 1 running back in the country that Tennessee has a shot at landing. I want to go take a look at another 5-star prospect. Tennessee deep in it here, but we're going to flip over to the other side of the ball, and that's 5-star edge rusher Rodney Dunham. You can see the profile on the screen, ranked inside the top 20, third best edge rusher in the country. Tennessee has made him a priority early in this cycle. Got a great relationship with Coach G, great relationship with Coach Chop. That's got Tennessee in a great spot here. Austin Price put out an update after Junior Day, said Rodney Dunham continues to jive well with Tennessee. The Vols are clearly at the top here with others pushing. Says he said that he hopes to make a decision about a month before his senior year starts. Going to take officials starting on April the 12th to Georgia, May the 30th, South Carolina, June 6th to Duke, June the 14th to Notre Dame. Wraps things up again back in Tennessee on June the 20th. So those are a couple of not just blue chip prospects. I'm talking game changer, legitimate dudes, number 1 ranked wide receiver in the country, number 1 ranked running back in the country, a 5-star edge rusher, third best edge rusher in the country. Can Tennessee get that top 5 class? Wanted to throw a lot of information. Saw the article about Faizon Brandon. Love that he's not going to take the visits. As long as he doesn't take the visits, you got to feel good, and maybe we should not be concerned about Faizon Brandon. What are your thoughts? Jump in the comments section. Let's talk about it. As always, smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out Talkin VAWLS merchandise at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. There is a link in the description to do that, as well as if you want to support the channel, hit that join button, or there is a link if you're on an iPhone. You got to go to a web browser. You can join the channel that way. We appreciate the support from you guys. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.